Valentine's Day is in a few days, so of course in this video I'm going to show you how to make something for your Valentine. Or for yourself if you don't have a Valentine, or even if you do, you can make them for yourself anyway. I've already done chocolates and lingerie, well, sort of lingerie, and cute little containers for your Valentines. So I thought this year I would just do something really cozy and comfortable, something that you can wear around the house while you're relaxing or whatever. So today I'm going to show you how to make some cute Valentine's fuzzy house slippers. Let's get started. You'll need a pair of flip-flops or sandals that fit you, an old yoga mat. I'm using one that Uni decided to use as a scratching post, so it's pretty destroyed on one side. I'm sure you can probably find one of these used at a thrift store or something. Thin foam or thick quilt batting, fuzzy fabric in 2 colors. I used pink and white. Faux leather vinyl. I used red. Scissors, a marker, measuring tape, pins, contact cement, paper, and pencil. Mark around your flip-flop on the yoga mat and cut it out. Repeat for the other side. My mat was pretty thin, so I decided to cut another layer for both sides. You can skip this if your mat is already thick or if you just want them to be on the thinner side. If you have multiple layers like me, use contact cement to glue the layers together. Apply contact cement to both layers of the sole. Let dry for about 15 minutes and then stick them together. Make sure to do this in a well-ventilated area. If you're not doing multiple layers for the sole, then you won't need the contact cement at all. Mark around the soles on the foam or batting. Again, my foam was thin, so I doubled it up so they'd be nice and squishy. Make a pattern for the slipper by tracing one of the soles onto the piece of paper. Mark around that 1/2 inch out for seam allowance. Place the sole down again, mark the top and the midpoint on both sides. Measure 1 inch out from both midpoint marks, and then connect the top mark to these points like so. Then connect the midpoints with a gentle curve. Mark around this 1/2 inch again for seam allowance. This is the top of the slipper. Cut these pieces out. Mark and cut these pieces out of the fabric. For one shoe, you'll need to cut one sole piece out of vinyl and the secondary fuzzy fabric, and 2 mirrored pieces of the top out of the main fuzzy fabric. Flip the pattern pieces over and repeat this for the other shoe. Cut the bottom seam allowance off of the top pattern piece and trace and cut 2 mirrored pieces onto the foam. Stack the sole and foam or batting layers together and measure how tall they are, and then measure all the way around the sole. Add 1 inch to these measurements and cut 2 pieces of the main fuzzy fabric to that size. Hold the pattern pieces together as if they are sewn together, and on the sole piece, mark the sides where the top piece touches. Measure from one mark around the heel and back up to the other mark. Add 1 inch to that measurement and cut another rectangle of main fuzzy fabric to that measurement by 6 inches. Take your heel piece and fold it in half. Pin it on one of the top pieces, right sides touching, with the raw sides facing out. Bring it around and pin it to the other side. Place and pin the other part of the top piece, right sides touching, and then sew along this curve. Flip it out and it should look like this. Now sandwich the foam piece between these layers. It may stick out a little bit from the toe, but that's fine because you can trim it later. Take the sole piece and at the toe end, start pinning it to the top and heel pieces. It should look like this, vaguely slipper-like now. Sew around these edges. This can be a little tricky with fuzzy fabrics, so just take it slow and make sure you pull the pins out as you're sewing. I can't tell you how many pins I ended up pulling out of my finished slippers because they got lost in the fuzz. Take the long strip of fuzzy fabric, sew it together, right sides touching along the short ends. Pin this around the vinyl piece, right sides touching. I actually used these weird paper clips that I randomly have for some reason, so I wouldn't have to pierce through the vinyl too much. I think they actually sell sewing clips that are made specifically for this, so I would recommend using something like that for this step. In a pinch, I've actually also used bobby pins for this. Around the curved portions, cut little triangles out, making sure not to cut into the stitching. This helps the fabric not bunch up all weird when it's flipped around. Starting at the toe again, pin the top pieces onto the sole piece, right sides together. I know it's kind of tricky to see, but I'm pinning the raw edge of the long strip of fuzzy fabric onto the stitching of the top piece. Mark on the heel side where you want to stop sewing. You want to leave yourself a gap big enough to be able to shove the yoga mat and foam sole layers into. Sew around from mark to mark. Flip right side out. Stick the inner sole layers inside. I found it helpful to fold them kind of like a taco before shoving it in. Even after making sure I pushed the layers in all the way, they stuck out just a little bit from the heel, so I ended up just trimming them. Once they're all in place, simply just hand sew the heel closed. Repeat all these steps again for the other slipper. From here, you can leave them as is, or you can decorate them however you'd like. Since these are for Valentine's Day, of course I decided to go with hearts. I cut hearts out of the secondary fuzzy fabric and hand sewed them on. I really love how these turned out. They're soft, squishy, comfortable, warm, and super cute. My husband also pointed out that the swirls in the pink fabric kind of look like little rosettes, which I totally didn't even think of, but that makes it even more perfect. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. If you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe. I post art videos every Tuesday and DIY videos every Thursday. You can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Pinterest, or Snapchat, and I'll leave the information to those down below. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment down below. Thank you to my patrons for helping me produce this video. If you are interested in becoming a patron, then I'll leave a link to my Patreon right up here. And a couple little announcements. I started doing Twitch again. I still don't have a set schedule, but I really want to get started on doing it at least once a week. So since I don't have a schedule, if you are interested in catching my stream, then go follow me on that, twitch.tv/chezlin, or on Twitter or Instagram. I'll be posting when I plan on streaming and stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in buying some art prints or even the originals, my store is up and running. I'll be adding new stuff every once in a while. So far, what I have up there is my Inktober stuff, so go check it out if you're interested. Alright, I'll see you guys next week.